Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It is your boy Noah Jones, and welcome to Today in Hip Hop Season 2, Episode 3. Today we got some back and forth with a legendary DJ from New York City by the name of Funkmaster Flex. We also have some back and forth with a legendary producer slash DJ from New York as well, the legendary Pete Rock, originally from Pete Rock and CL Smooth fame, produced a lot of records for a lot of people, did one of my favorite remixes for Nas, which is the World Is Yours remix. Definitely ahead of his time. We're going to talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, first and foremost, Conway, the Machine, is going back and forth with Funkmaster Flex right now. More or less about gatekeepers, etc., and people blocking the kind of music that he makes and just music in general to the ears of the public. But I'll let Conway, the Machine from Griselda, explain it to you himself, ladies and gentlemen. This is straight from his Instagram. I'm going to press play on this so you guys can hear it for yourself. And then what I'll do is I'll let you know about Funk Flex's response to this, and then I'll give you some commentary on how I feel about the situation.
Like, New York and shit, my opinion, man, y'all gotta get them old niggas up out the way like Flex and them niggas, man. You know what I mean? Them gatekeepers that y'all got up there, man, that's trying to dictate, like, who, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Good thing I don't need y'all niggas, because if I needed y'all niggas would be fake stifling my growth. Y'all don't play my shit. Sus One, you got on Wendy Williams show, nigga, on primetime TV, nigga, and, like, say it what you said.
This is Conway.
Flex, every chance you get, you said that. You got to stand on that. Which you didn't, like, shit on us. Like, I want to make that clear. Goose, you know what I'm saying? So what I told you when I sang, like, oh, shit, he ain't saying nothing wrong shit. That ain't his motion. He don't listen to that shit. But it's like, what do you listen to then, bro? It's clear what you listen to. You want to take right to niggas who lit and popular in the club and, you know, all that shit, nigga. That's what y'all niggas do. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. We got to get rid of y'all niggas, man. Let some new, young, really tapped in with the streets ass niggas be the DJs and run that shit up there at Hot 97, nigga, and all that shit. And I love Hot 9. You know what I'm saying? My nigga, all them niggas up there, bro, everybody, like, I fuck with all that. Hot 97 love me. But, like, niggas like Flex and niggas don't understand, like, the shit they be saying. Like, people really take that shit and run with it sometimes, bro. Like, the fuck you get on there and talk about me for, man? When you know, niggas not fucking with me anyway. Can we admit the facts? Point them out, bro. Point niggas out, my nigga. Y'all know niggas not fucking with Griselda on no day. Conway, Benny, Westside Gun on no day. We ain't never even seen this before. I know, cause nigga, the clan told me, nigga. Raekwon, my big brother, nigga. Now, you know what y'all niggas doing? You feel me? Buster. Yo, y'all niggas, that's y'all niggas doing it right. Oh, all them niggas. But it's weirdos, like you weirdo DJ niggas, and y'all niggas think that y'all run New York, nigga. Y'all is lame and clowns. I hate motherfucking the media. I hate you DJ niggas. Not all of them. I fuck with the DJs, like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, just some of y'all niggas in New York City, man. Y'all niggas be just doing weirdo shit, bro. Like, that's why y'all niggas, like, for real, man, y'all gotta move out the way, man. Let some of them young tapped in niggas that's really outside, really in the clubs, really tapped in, really know the new. Y'all not even looking for new ill niggas. Y'all not even looking for new ill niggas. Y'all don't even know who new and hot right now, up and coming. Yo, nah, check that nigga out. Them niggas over there making noise in Brooklyn. Yo, what's this nigga over there, such and such in the Bronx? Niggas making crazy noise, nigga. Y'all niggas don't even know who next. Y'all don't even look for that. Y'all just want to dick ride who popular, who now. I can't wait for Future and them niggas to come to town so y'all can take pictures and be in them niggas sections with y'all phone out videoing and shit.
So you heard it from Conway's mouth, how he feels about the situation as far as the New York hip-hop scene and how it affects him. Now, Funk Flex had something to say about that. You know, he basically took to his Instagram and he basically said, look, you know, he said, you're managed by Roc Nation. He said, you were signed to Shady Records, which is Eminem, distributed by Interscope, which is a major label. He said, you and your team has had a feature from Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, Jadakiss, Travis Scott, French Montana, and more people. He also said, wasn't you on Kanye's Donda album? He said, I'm going to give you the advice Paul Rosenberg should have gave you. You're a 40-plus bars rapper. Sorry. A lyricist that has had every resource possible. If you are not happy with your career as of today, with all those cosigns, I think you have peaked, my guy. He's like, what you think? You're only going to take this as disrespect because the truth might be a bit much for you. Now, here's what I think about the situation. Flex probably is the longest standing running, probably DJ in history when it comes to not just being on the radio, but just helping to guide, dictate, and shape the culture. Now, as of late, I don't know if he's broke any new artists or whatever the case may be, but that's also one of Conway's gripes, where he's saying, you guys don't even look for the new talent. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to kind of talk about how I feel about what Conway said. One thing that stuck out, well, the first thing that stuck out what he said was, you're lucky, or I'm lucky that I don't need you. I would have to disagree with this. Because if you didn't need this nigga, you wouldn't have brought it up in the first fucking place. You know, now, I've dealt with a lot of artists and dealt with a lot of people, and I understand that mostly issues arise when the money is slowing up. When the money's not there, when the hype's not there, that's when people start to get a little disgruntled. Now, here's the thing. We're in an age right now where people don't even usually listen to the radio that much. So to worry about who Flex is putting on the radio or not putting on the radio or allowing to be heard or co-signing or whatever the case may be, it's kind of irrelevant today. You know, this isn't the 90s and the early 2000s and where the blogs and everything was having control over things and the radio stations was running shit. Now you can kind of make your own way. You know, when you have distribution companies to where you can basically upload your own music to Apple Music, Spotify, etc., there really isn't anything stopping you if you have a little bit of buzz. The only thing that's stopping you if you have buzz from really getting to the bag is your work ethic. You know, and if you're getting to the bag, there ain't going to be no reason for you to complain. You know, if you get into the money, it's business as usual. You really don't have nothing to say because you're too busy getting paid. So I'm thinking that a lot of this is stemming from the fact that, you know, he's going through a financial situation. And in the video, you see this guy with a big-ass chain on and a big-ass pendant around his neck that he obviously spent a lot of money for. You know, the thing about hip-hop is a lot of artists, they finally get a little bit of bread, and what do? They spend it on things that have no real value. They spend it on the showmanship of the art instead of actually focusing on things that's going to bring them revenue. You know what I mean? So with the fact that this guy Like, I don't know what his contract situation is, because I also saw a video where he was saying that his contract was all fucked up, under the whole Griselda thing or whatever the case may be. So he was repping a company that had him under a bad contract from the beginning. He pretty much helped build that company. He pretty much helped build Griselda. Griselda wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for Conway, Benny, you know what I mean? Those are the main staples of the group or of the label. So my whole thing is this. You as an artist have to turn your work ethic all the way up to 1,000%. He has a big enough name to where he can be doing features every single day for different artists that are up and coming to help spread his name to get him even hotter than he already was, and it'll put money in his pocket to where he won't even be complaining about gatekeepers or who can hear his music or who's playing his shit or who listens to his shit or whatever. So ultimately, you can't blame Flex for the type of music that you make that he's not playing. Somebody's music is getting played on the radio. Somebody's music is getting played. It's not his music. And I don't know if it's because, the payola, they're not paying Flex, or maybe Flex is, his station pays him to play certain kind. Like I said, I don't understand the dynamics of what goes on that radio station. But I do know that some people are getting played. So you can't blame the DJ because you're not making the kind of music that the masses want to hear right now. You won't hear artists like Drake saying, yo, these niggas ain't playing my music, because he makes the kind of music with his team that he knows is going to garner enough attention to where the DJs at the radio station and the clubs, etc., are going to play his shit regardless, because he makes the kind of music that fits in to what everybody wants to hear right now. The kind of music Conway makes, it's a niche audience. You know what I mean? It's niche. It's for guys like me that grew up in New York City, that like that kind of music, that's nostalgic about the golden era, that kind of hasn't really evolved past that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different artists out there right now that are eating. Look, I use the example of Russ. Look at Russ. Russ can bar with the best of them. Plus he sings. He makes his own beats. Those are all different revenue streams. If you get Russ on a hook singing, that's a revenue stream. If you get Russ on a beat that he produced, that's a revenue stream. If you get Russ as a feature, that's a revenue stream. Russ ain't gonna be complaining about Gatekeepers because he's out here making his own way. So I suggest that Conway get out here and make his own way. I don't know if his contract with Griselda is preventing him from doing that. But I mean, simple mathematics. You can do, I'm pretty sure with a name like his, he could easily get $500 a verse. Easily. Now, if you are as dope as an artist as you say you are, you could whip up 4 verses in a day and make 2 racks a day, 7 days a week. That's $14,000 a week. You multiply that times 4, plus you add in your merch sales, your streams, any shows that you do, and you will be fucking killing it financially as far as being an artist, a rapper, independent, whatever the case may be. I just don't think a lot of these rappers are maximizing they hype or maximizing they buzz or maximizing what they could do with their name. See, a lot of artists struggle to even get that name. Like even an artist like myself, I've never been as popular as Conway. But I have an outrageous work ethic, so if I do eventually get as popular as Conway, you won't hear me complaining either because I will apply the same formula that I'm explaining right now. It's very simple. But you can't complain about the people that are in position that are doing whatever they're doing if you're not making the kind of music that fits what they're doing. He's not making the kind of music that fits in whatever terrestrial radio is playing. He's playing, he's writing songs about street shit, violence, you know. Does it sound dope? Yeah, it sounds dope, you know. But ultimately, is it moving the culture forward? Is that type of shit the type of shit that you want to hear on a regular basis? Or is it something you want to go to every once in a while? Is it feel good enough music to make you feel good when you're having a bad day? Or when you're tired at your job, or they working you too hard, or your baby mama's tripping, or your kids don't respect you, or you got into it with a friend of yours. You know what I mean? You got to make music that moves the culture forward, that fits people's narratives of their lifestyle. Not everybody in the world aspires to be a dope boy, a drug dealer, a kingpin, a shooter, a criminal. That doesn't fit most people's lives. Most people don't want to aspire to be that type of individual. You know, so you can't really get mad at what people are telling Flex, especially if you have other options. Remember, you can upload your own music to Spotify and eat that way as well. So you have plenty of options. So I just think he should exercise his options, do more features, work with more up-and-coming artists, bring out a group himself. He's saying there's so many dope artists out there, he should go find them. Go find them, put together a label, sign them niggas, push them niggas, and y'all can all eat together. Recreate what you had at Griselda, but do it under your own imprint. You know, I don't know if he's doing that right now. I don't know, because I don't follow his career that intricately. You know, but these are suggestions that I'm making that he could basically benefit from in the long term. You know what I mean? And Flex don't give a fuck. Flex don't care. You know what I'm saying? Flex said, look, you had all these people co-signing your shit. You had all these songs with all these famous people, but yet you're still basically flopping and complaining is what he's trying to say. And I understand it. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But to me, usually these type of feelings come from people that are disgruntled because they're having financial difficulties. You know what I'm saying? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna also talk about Pete Rock. Pete Rock also chimed in and said, hey, you don't play real artists no more. He said, you talk shit like you're better than everybody, and I believe all threats with real talent in music were removed by plan out of the way for that new shit to happen. So he's basically saying like it was a divine scheme where they took out all the other guys and brought in these new guys who they basically had more control over. You know what I mean? So he's saying you're a New York nigga treating other New York artists who put in work like our career is over. You stop playing Wu-Tang, you play no Griselda, nothing. Stopped playing a lot of artists when you judge motherfuckers and make fun of the fact that you control what you want when you on the air. Pete Rock also continued, there's so much good music out here to be ignored, and as a black dude treating other black talented people like they're beneath you, you don't make beats or rap, but you shitted on other artists that you could, and you stop supporting real hip-hop music to cater to whoever got you in their pocket. That's sucker DJ behavior. So here's the thing about Pete Rock. He's an awesome fucking producer. You know. But the thing about nowadays is some of these producers and rappers or whatever, they don't transition and keep up with the newer generation. They make the kind of music that they're good at. They don't experiment and try to make these other kinds of songs that are popping right now. You know what I'm saying? So I give similar advice to Pete Rock. Pete, bring in some new artists. Here's the thing. You're a DJ. You have all this experience and you have an ear for music. You can create your own internet radio station and play all the hot up-and-coming shit that's not getting discovered. Create your own wave. You be the person to break all these records instead of complaining that Flex is not breaking these records. You can do it. You got a name. People know who Pete Rock is in the city. See, that's the thing. We got to stop complaining about what other motherfuckers is not doing. And we need to start stepping up and taking care of shit ourselves. If you don't think that this nigga should be in the position that he's in, build yourself up, make yourself bigger than him, and he will have no choice but to get the fuck out the way because it'll be a hostile takeover. So what you need to understand is you can't sit around and complain about other people. Put some artists on. Create your own radio station the way I created my own podcast. Create your own radio station. You know, You have people that'll give you resources that'll help you just because of your name. And you start your own show. You bring artists in there. You play their shit if they hot. You know what I'm saying? You interview them. You provide the platform. And by the same token, you guys will all blow up and grow and glow together. But sitting around complaining about what Flex is not doing, it's not going to get anybody anywhere in the grand scheme of things. It's just going to promote more division amongst our culture. And we already don't own our culture as is. The other races have came in and learned how to monetize our fucking sweat equity. A lot of us don't own our own music, don't own our own anything. You know what I'm saying? So there's plenty of ways for you to make a difference. But being online, worrying about what another nigga is not doing, is not going to get any of us closer to our goals. Now, I can understand if, you know, he's a gatekeeper and there's no other resources. Bro, there's fucking millions of resources out there that you can tap into to get your shit out there, to get new artists out there, to get new artists heard, take them under your wing, produce projects for them. It don't cost neither one of y'all nothing for you to produce the shit and for him to record the shit. Everybody got a home studio nowadays. It'll cost some electricity, which you're going to be paying for anyway. So it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal whatsoever. But like I said, complaining about somebody else instead of actively doing something about the situation, it ain't going to help. So what's going to happen is now, Flex also responded to Pete Rock and he's like, yo, I've watched this guy give his opinion to me for about 2 years. He's one of my favorite DJs, producers, and MCs. Hope that some of our mutual friends will understand that goofy has been begging for smoke. So Flex is saying Thursday at 7, he'll share his opinion to him on Hot 97. He's got a few stories to tell. So now Flex is going to get out there and basically he's going to just go off and potentially assassinate Pete Rock's character. You know, instead of just having a private conversation with Flex saying, yo, what can I do to get these goals solved that I have as far as this music shit or whatever the case may be. See, the thing about it is, us as older statesmen of this rap shit, we got to learn how to adapt. Especially if you talented. See, my thing is, if you talented, you ain't got no problem adapting. If you can make the kind of music, if you're creative enough and talented enough to make the kind of music that can actually get your shit out there, then make that kind of music. Some people aren't that talented. They're talented in their one little niche or their one little area or their one little style or whatever the case may be. There are so many different styles of music and ways to tap into these things to where it can be very liquid for everybody to get money. But you got to learn how to use these bridges and build on these bridges instead of burning them shits down when you're walking across them or burning them down from a distance so that way you'll never, have an opportunity. Because see, the thing about it is, niggas like Flex that got all the opportunities, if you say some shit about Flex, he gonna hold you to the shit. He gonna hold you to it, and there's gonna be no way that you can get back over the shit, and you'll never get another opportunity because of that shit. Never. So yeah, so that's what's going on between Flex, Conway, Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. The hip hop scene is just crazy. But I wish we could all just get together and just realistically focus on what needs to be done to help heal our culture. When rappers is dying every single fucking day, this is the least of our worries, is who's playing what on the fucking radio. We need a mass meeting of everybody to say, look, this kind of content ain't gonna be tolerated. We need to move our culture in a positive direction because too many artists are dying. And there's too many other races that are capitalizing off of our deaths. We got to focus on this shit. Now, in other news that isn't hip-hop, but in an off-brand way, it is about hip-hop, because here's the thing. You got a lot of women that be going to these places like Brazil, and they be getting these Brazilian butt lifts and all this other type of shit, right? And these rap niggas is always the ones that be in their DMs on Instagram and everything else. So, in a sense, this is a story that's kind of related to hip-hop. Now, there was an anesthesiast named Giovanni Becerra, and he landed himself and his employers at a hospital than molar in Brazil in a lot of hot water. What this guy was doing was he basically was sedating his patients so much to where they were so out that he was performing lewd acts on them. For example, he got caught putting his dick in the mouth of a female patient during work hours while she was fully sedated. Now, the doctor was 32 years old, and the suspicion kind of came because a lot of the people, like his coworkers, they were noticing that he was prescribing an alarming amount of drugs to his patients. So this basically had them, had him go into an operating room, and they set up a hidden camera to monitor his activity during a C-section, and they basically saw him putting his dick in the mouth of the lady who was unconscious. So for all you Instagram bitches that's running to these fucking foreign countries and thinking that everything is sweet, you have no idea if dudes like this is putting their dicks in your mouth while you sleeping. This the kind of crazy shit that you wouldn't even think of. It wouldn't even be in the forefront of your mind. Like, what is this nigga doing to me while I'm unconscious? You know, you wake up, your mouth all dry. This nigga was fucking your mouth while you was sleeping. You know what I'm saying? So he got arrested for the shit. He faces 8 to 15 years behind bars. And the fact that, you know, he was doing this a lot to where he was prescribing a lot of medication to a lot of different fucking patients. So I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time he's done this. You know, but this is just the first time he legitimately was caught because they moved him to another room where they had hidden cameras set up that he had no idea about. So they moved him in there and watched what he was doing. And basically, while her head was under the covers, he was putting his dick in his woman's mouth. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit to make you want to kill a nigga. You know what I mean? Make you want to kill a nigga. But you never know the type of individuals that are out there. So everything you're doing is a fucking risk. So you're not only risking your life, you know, you're risking your life with these injections and these BBLs and these procedures and these surgeries. You have no idea if this nigga could have had herpes and he's putting his dick all in your mouth and now you got herpes in your mouth and you can't cure that shit. You know what I mean? So these are the type of situations that, look, just be grateful for what God gave you. Work on what you have. Hit the gym. Stay positive. A lot of men like natural women. A lot of that shit. Look, here's the thing. The secret to this shit, ladies, is men really give a fuck about your personality and how receptive you are to the shit that we try to teach you. It's very simple. If you want to be argumentative and act like niggas is trying to control you when all we trying to do is give you some good ass advice, you're going to end up fucking single and alone for the rest of your fucking life. And that's a fact. You know, all you need to do is be a nice person who doesn't want to fucking argue and talk shit all the time and be grateful for the shit that people do for you. And you won't go through this shit. You'll land you a good man. You'll keep you a good man, whatever the case may be. But these hoes are so ungrateful. These bitches is ungrateful. They don't know how to show appreciation. You know, they think that just because they look a certain kind of way, that a nigga's gonna put up with they bullshit. We not gonna put up with it. Because you ain't the only bitch out here getting this procedure. All these bitches is trying to look exactly the same. So because all the women are trying to look exactly the same, niggas is tired of it and we run into to a different type of woman. A woman that looks more natural, that doesn't look like the same fucking Instagram model shit that we see on TV. And these bitches think, yeah, just because they look a certain way, they can have an attitude problem. They can fucking talk to a man any kind of way. Hey, you'll find out soon enough. You'll find out soon enough. This is your boy Noah Jones. This has been Today in Hip Hop Season 2, Episode 3. I love y'all. I respect y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you slide over to privateroadclothing.com and pick something up. Also, feel free to check out my music on Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Or go to noahjonesnews.com for all exclusive quality content. Love y'all. See y'all next time. Peace.